Hello, my future biologists. If you are ready to absolutely master one of the most important topics for your WAEC, JAMB, and NECO exams, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the cell, the fundamental building block of all life. Getting this right is your ticket to a top grade. So, let's jump right in. Now, listen up because this is really important. Understanding the cell isn't just about getting through another chapter. No, it is the foundation for scoring high in biology. Your examiners love asking about it, from its basic structure to the tiny differences between cell types. So, mastering this, it's not an option. It's absolutely essential if you're aiming for that A1. So, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll see why the cell is so incredibly crucial. Then, we'll explore the two main blueprints for cells. After that, we're taking a deep dive, a tour inside the eukaryotic cell. And then, I know this is the part you've been waiting for, we'll tackle real past exam questions before I give you a foolproof strategy for your exams. Ready? Let's get started. Okay, first up, section 1. Why does the cell even matter so much? Well, think of it this way. This isn't just one topic. It's the key that unlocks pretty much everything else in biology, from how we inherit traits to how our bodies work. This slide right here holds one of the cornerstones of all biology, the cell theory. Now, thanks to scientists, this whole big idea boils down to 3 powerful points. Number 1, every single living thing is made of cells. Number 2, the cell is the most basic unit where all of life's processes happen. And finally, number 3, every new cell has to come from a cell that already exists. You need to memorize these 3 points. They are pure gold for your exams. So now that we know what a cell is, let's look at the 2 major designs. You see, all life on Earth is built from one of 2 blueprints, either prokaryotic or eukaryotic cells. And let me tell you, understanding the difference between them is a classic exam question, so you want to pay close attention. Okay, so the main thing you need to grasp is the difference in complexity. Over on the left, we have prokaryotic cells. When you think of these, think simple, think ancient. They have no true nucleus, no membrane-bound organelles. The genetic material just kind of floats around in a region we call the nucleoid. Bacteria are the perfect example. Now, on the right, you've got eukaryotic cells. These are way more complex, much more organized. These are the cells that make up plants, animals, and even you. They have a proper nucleus to house the DNA and a bunch of specialized organelles to carry out specific jobs. And now, for the main event, a tour inside the eukaryotic cell. We're going to go inside and look at all the different organelles, those tiny little organs that do all the work. We'll also pinpoint the key differences between plant and animal cells, which is a huge deal for your exams. I want you to think of this slide as your cheat sheet for the cell's machinery, kind of like a bustling city. The nucleus, that's City Hall, the main office storing all the DNA blueprints. The mitochondria are the power plants generating energy, ATP, which is the cell's fuel. Ribosomes are the little factories that build proteins. The ER is like the city's road network and assembly line, while the Golgi apparatus is the post office, packaging and shipping proteins. Lysosomes are the recycling center, breaking down waste, and vacuoles are the warehouses for storage. You must know these functions by heart. Now, this table is your best friend for any comparison question. Let's just walk through it together. First, look at the shape. Animal cells are kind of flexible and irregular, right? But plant cells have that rigid rectangular shape. And why is that? Well, it's because of the cell wall, which plants have and animals don't. Then you have chloroplasts. Think of them as solar panels for photosynthesis, only in plants. And notice the vacuoles. Plants have one massive central one that gives them support, while animal cells have tiny ones if they have them at all. But there's one thing animals have that plants don't, centrioles, which are super important for cell division. Okay, exam alert. Let's zero in on the most important stuff. The absolute must-knows are right here. What's exclusive to plant cells? the cell wall for that rigid structure, chloroplast for making food, and that large central vacuole for maintaining pressure. And what about animal cells? What's their exclusive item? The centrioles, which are critical for cell division. Seriously, memorize this slide. It is a guaranteed source of marks. Alright, you've got the knowledge, that's great. But now we need to turn that knowledge into marks. So in this section, we're going to put on our examiner's hats and think like they do as we tackle real past questions from WAEC, JAMB, and NECO. Okay, let's kick things off with a WAEC biology question from 2018. The question asks, which of the following organelles is found only in plant cells? Your options are A, mitochondria, B, ribosomes, C, lysosomes, and D, plastids. Just take a second and think about it. So, how do we break this down? First things first, identify those keywords. Only in plant cells. That's the whole point of the question. Next, start eliminating what you know is shared between plant and animal cells. Mitochondria and ribosomes both have them for energy and making proteins. So A and B are out. Now, what about plastids? Remember, plastids, like chloroplast, are unique to plants. They use them to make and store food. So the correct answer has to be D, plastids. See? Simple logic. Now, a very common mistake here is getting lysosomes and plastids mixed up. Just remember this little trick. Lysosomes are mainly in animal cells for digestion. Think of them as the cleanup crew. Plastids are in plant cells for photosynthesis and storage. Think of them as the food factory. Don't get them confused. Alright, next up, let's tackle a JAMB question. This one from 1998. It asks, the prokaryotic cell type is characterized by A, a complex cytoplasm, B, absence of chromosomes, C, presence of chromosomes, or D, absence of a true nucleus. So, how do we solve this one? Easy. The second you see the word prokaryotic, your brain should just scream, no true nucleus. I mean, that is its defining feature. So let's look at the options. Is it a complex cytoplasm? No way. They're simple. Absence of chromosomes? Nope. Presence of chromosomes? Well, yes, but that's not what makes them different from eukaryotes. The absolute undeniable number one characteristic is the absence of a true membrane-bound nucleus. So D is our answer, hands down. You know, the trap here is option B, absence of chromosomes. So many students fall for this thinking prokaryotes have no DNA at all. That is wrong. They do have genetic material. It's a circular chromosome. It's just not neatly packed inside a nucleus. It's located in that region we call the nucleoid. So remember, precision is key. And for a final practice question, let's grab one from NECO 2001. The cell organelle from which spindle fibers originate during cell division in animal cells is known as A, chromosome, B, centriole, C, lysosome, or D, mitochondrion. Okay, let's break it down one last time. Our keywords are spindle fibers, cell division, and animal cells. Now think back. Which organelle is unique to animal cells and has a job to do with cell division? We just covered this. It's the centriole. Centrioles are responsible for organizing those spindle fibers that pull the chromosomes apart. So, of course, the correct answer is B, centriole. A really common point of confusion is mixing up the role of the centriole with the chromosome itself. So remember it like this. The centrioles create the ropes, those are the spindle fibers, that pull the chromosomes apart. The chromosomes are the things being pulled, so don't confuse the mover with what's being moved. Whew, we've covered the concepts, we've practiced with real questions. Now let's pull it all together into your A1 exam strategy with a final summary and some absolutely crucial tips. Okay, let's boil it all down. What are the absolute must-knows for your exam? First, remember the cell theory, that life is built from cells. Second, know that fundamental split between simple prokaryotes with no nucleus and complex eukaryotes that have one. Third, inside those eukaryotes, you must be able to name the organelles and their jobs. And finally, you have to be an expert on the differences between plant and animal cells, the cell wall and chloroplast versus the centrioles. You master these 4 areas and you are well on your way to that A1. And finally, here is your practical checklist for exam day. Number 1, please spell your biological terms correctly. Things like mitochondrion, chloroplast. Examiners notice these things. 2. When you draw diagrams, label them neatly. Use a ruler for straight lines and always give your diagram a title. 3. Pay close attention to the command words. State just means to list, but if they say compare, you should probably be using a table. And number 4, avoid vague answers. Don't just write a plant is green. Say it has chloroplast, which are the sites for photosynthesis. Be specific. If you found this biology explainer helpful, please do me a huge favor and like this video, share it with all your classmates, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to visit www.examkp.com where you'll find thousands of free practice questions and answers. Come on, let's smash these exams together.